fucked up.
Think with the doctor. Yes, he's got it. Here he comes. Way back the baby in his plate.
Until morning. Ewing.
Oh, wow.
He's going to try to get one more shot off the hand. Push the ball's there.
How about that?
Steps over Teron Lewis. He thought about three. He'll put up a three.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, Boom Broadcasting presents 3 from Deep. I'm your host, Jayson Calenzo. Welcome to the show. How's everybody doing today? Thank you very much for joining me. I am Jayson Calenzo. This is 3 from Deep, your all NBA podcast here on the Boom Broadcasting Network, which, if you hadn't had a chance yet, guys, hit that like and subscribe button, man. Jump on that Boom Broadcasting bandwagon. We have a lot of great content on here, not just NBA shows. We do wrestling. We do baseball. The NFL season is around the corner. You know, we just had some preseason games. So the NFL excitement is bubbling to the surface right now, especially with the NBA on hiatus in this offseason here. But we still got a few things to talk about, man. I still love talking about the NBA because, man, it's August already, and that NBA season is not far away. You know, that's going by pretty quickly. So we're going to talk about it. We're going to be here for you. I'm going to be here for you every step of the way. We do the one show a week right now, but I will get back to my 3 from Deep 3 times a week when we get into the season. So be prepared for that. And if you like football and you like fantasy football, in the next couple of weeks, you will see Sideline Savants here on the Boom Broadcasting Network. I also host that show too for your all-access fantasy football. So if you guys love fantasy football and you love the Boom Broadcasting Network and you love the NBA, you're in the right spot because jump on here. Your man NY has everything you're going to need to get you through the next 6, 9, 12 months, man. Let's go. So I appreciate everybody jumping in here with me. So let's get into some NBA talk. Not a lot going on right now in the NBA, but, you know, we got a few things going on. We're going to talk about my man Joe Mazzulla. Just got re-upped and extended by the Boston Celtics. Didn't see where they posted, how much or how long. But at 37 years old, this was a no-brainer for the Celtics. In 3 years, you know, the 215 and 81 overall record, 726 winning percentage, won the 2024 NBA championship. So at 37, only 3 years into his coaching tenure, it was a no-brainer to extend him and to keep him. I mean, I think if Boston really wants to keep him around, heck, you can have him for the next 25, 30 years. This could be kind of, he's that kind of coach. And I know there was a lot of teams out there that probably were hoping maybe Boston didn't re-up him or maybe think that they would have a shot at him. I know the New York Knicks were calling around this offseason, talking to basically every team about their coach and if they wanted to get rid of him or trade him. I'm surprised the Knicks didn't try to go after Joe Mazzulla, but that's a whole nother story. We'll talk about that here later. But, man, there's a no-brainer, again, from the Boston Celtics, locking him up. He is a heck of a coach, and he's going to have a tough season ahead of him here, too. So this is really going to show us what type of coach Joe Mazzulla is because you lost Jayson Tatum in the playoffs, you know, torn Achilles. He's gone for a year. You got rid of Drew Holiday. You got rid of Kristaps Porzingis. You're not signing Al Horford. I think he's going to end up out west. I'm hearing Golden State maybe he'd go to the Lakers or somebody. So you're not going to have him. So Jaylen Brown, Derek White, and Peyton Pritchard are going to be your big three there in Boston without Tatum and those other guys. Can those guys hold it down and be competitive in the East this year? Look, the East is going to be tougher than people think. And everybody talks about the West and how loaded the West is and how weak the East is. Well, that's a load of hooey. The East is pretty deep. The East is pretty tough, too. You got my New York Knicks in the East going for another 50-win season. We'll see how that goes. You have the upcoming Orlando Magic. Played Boston in the playoffs. They won a game, but still kind of young. I don't think they had enough firepower. But then adding Desmond Bane to Paolo Banchero and the rest of that squad, I think that's going to be I think that's pretty significant in the East. And then watch out for the Atlanta Hawks. I don't know. I know not a lot of people talk about them. I know there, Mr. Ice Tray likes to play his best ball in Madison Square Garden. So Trae Young, not crazy about him as a Knicks fan, but as an NBA fan, he is something pretty special. So, but watch out for those Atlanta Hawks. They're up and coming. So the East is on the rise. The East has some squads. Now we also have some questions in the East too, because the Bucks right now with Giannis, Doc Rivers, a few questions there. The Celtics, will they be able to maintain? Or are they just going to kind of go through the motions of the year and maybe try for a lottery pick and then reload next year when Tatum comes back? So it'll be interesting to see. But again, great move for Boston, locking up Joe Mazzulla. Man, he's going to be a coach for years to come, and I think he's going to stay in Boston, and they'd be crazy to get rid of him. So I can see this being a situation where he's going to have years as a Boston Celtics coach because he is that kind of talent. So that's pretty cool. Congratulations, Joe, getting locked up with the Celtics. We'll see what next year brings. Lots of questions, but if there's any coach out there that can coach up his team and get them to play beyond what people are thinking they are, Joe Mazzulla is that guy. So, yeah, lock him up. He's your coach, Boston, for the next 25 years, if you got him, if you want him. So, guys, let me know what you think. Do you think Joe Mazzulla stays in Boston for his entire career? Or can you see this as a situation where he tends to get tired, or maybe the team gets tired of him and then he moves on, say like a Pat Riley or a Phil Jackson kind of moving from team to team? Can you see Mazzulla doing that? Or do you see him sticking around for the foreseeable future and in staying a Boston Celtic kind of for life? Let me know what you think. Be interesting to hear what you guys got. But we're going to jump here into our divisional talk. Here in the offseason, I've been kind of discussing each division and kind of breaking them down a little bit, giving some of my projections for next year, some of my thoughts for next year or this year coming up here with the different divisions. And right now we are on the Pacific Division. So, we got the Pacific Division loaded: Warriors, Clippers, Lakers, Suns, and Kings. We talked about the West being deep, and, there's some deep teams on there. So I'm going to jump in here and kind of give you my thoughts and what I think these teams are going to do next year and who comes out of this Pacific Division number one. I think it may surprise you. So let's jump right in here. And I want to know what your thoughts are too, guys. So once I get through, let me know. Let me know if I'm on point. Let me know if you have something different, because I got a few things here that'll probably surprise you. Number 5 in this division, probably be no surprise, is going to be the Phoenix Suns. Train wreck last year. The big three with Booker, Durant, and Beal. Ayton at fourth. Did not work. That was a failed experiment. They just looked absolutely horrible. One of the worst teams in the NBA. So, they jettisoned Kevin Durant. He's now with Houston. Ayton's gone. He went to Portland. Portland got rid of him, and now he's in LA. But Phoenix, I have them number 5. Can Booker who they just extended. They now have Jalen Green, who they got in from that Rockets trade. Dylan Brooks, who they got from that Rockets trade. And they got that rookie from Duke. I'm going to butcher his name here. Kaman Malik. I know I'm saying it wrong, but that center rookie from Duke. I think he has some potential, but too many questions. Is Booker that guy? Is he's a heck of a talent, but is he the leader of that team? And I think that's one of the things the Suns have been missing over the years. No one really stepped up and wanted to be the leader. Kevin Durant, he just wants to be that mercenary. He just wants to come in and score you 30 and leave. Didn't want to be a leader. Beal certainly wasn't going to want to do that. Booker, you are now the face of the Phoenix Suns. I think it's time to take on some kind of leadership role and pull the Suns out of the trash heap. It falls on you first. You're the highest paid cat on the team. You're the one everybody knows. It's time to do something. And the only way the Phoenix Suns are going to make anything and become any kind of good NBA team is if Booker becomes a leader and can get those guys behind him. Jalen Green, still young, now traded over from the Rockets. You got to do something and get him motivated. Dylan Brooks, he's that guy that kind of just gets under your skin. But that can go two ways. If you're winning, it works. You want that guy. You want that pest when you're winning. When you're losing, it doesn't work because then it becomes annoying and then it becomes a distraction. So we'll see. But they were 36-46 last year. I have them falling off. I still think they're going to be last in this division. I think they're about a 32-win team. A whole new lineup. You got some rookies. It's going to be rough. This is going to be a rough year for the Phoenix Suns. But it's all going to come down to Brooks and Green and Booker. Can Booker be the leader of that Phoenix Suns team and get him out of the basement? Remains to be seen. My number 4, and this pains me to say it, because I was a closet Golden State Warriors fan for a long time. When my New York Knicks were having some very bad years and the Warriors went on their dynasty, I was a huge fan. I loved watching the Golden State Warriors. They were a fun basketball team to watch. Steph Curry, the greatest shooter God ever created. Top 10. Sorry, guys. If you don't agree, tough. Steph Curry changed the game of basketball in the modern age, period. Greatest shooter ever. Changed the game, period. But I have them number 4 in this division. Steph Curry needs help. Steph, he may be the babyface assassin, but he's going to be 37 years old. He's not young anymore. Jonathan Kuminga, they got all these questions about, paying him or do they let him go? Gets about 15 points per game last year. I don't think Golden State wants to overpay him, and I think that's the problem, is that he's commanding a lot of money when he really hasn't produced and became that kind of guy. I don't see Kuminga as a game changer. I don't see him as a $30 million a year, $40 million a year player. He is not even close to that. So Golden State doesn't want to overpay. And I think I don't blame them. So lots of questions. Braden Podziemski, serviceable. Buddy Hield. Oh, Buddy Hield. My buddy. He's an interesting character. One game, he'll get you 30. Then he'll just go on a streak where he's just not existent. He started off last year hot. And then faded away. Draymond Green. He's in his 13th year. Looking like he's 72 years old. Draymond. I'm the same way, man. I got that little bit of gray here, man, but we got to get you some Just for Men for that beard. But his defense on point. Draymond Green, defender, agitator, still can do it, but he's just not a scorer, and you need some scoring. And then you have Jimmy Buckets. Oh, Jimmy Butler. The Jimmy Butler drama from last year. Coming over from the Miami Heat. Really didn't want to come over, but it was like his only option. Again, nobody else wanted to overpay for a 37-year-old Jimmy Butler. And then playoff Jimmy never showed up last year. So again, Jimmy Butler, game to game, you may get a 30-point Jimmy. You may not. Again, you've got an older team here around Steph Curry. Just not enough. 48 and 34 last year, but I think the cliff is here. I think this is it. I think this is where you start seeing the Warriors truly slip, where the dynasty dies. So you either do some mega trades and get Steph Curry some help, or because, I mean, even if you sign Al Horford's 147 years old too. That's not going to help you. He'll help with some rim protection. He's still a good defender, but he's not going to drop 30. You got to get points. You got to get Steph Curry some help. He can't score it all by himself. I have them winning 38 games this year. I think they dropped 10 off of last year. The Golden State Warriors need to retool and revamp. I'm not saying trade Steph Curry because I would hate to see that. I would hate to see Steph Curry in another jersey, unless he went to New York. I think that'd be great because we can use a three-point shooter there in New York City. But I want to see Steph finish his career in Golden State. I think that would be crazy not to see him. It's hard enough to see Clay in a Mavericks jersey. I was hoping he would go somewhere else too. Not too crazy about that, but yeah, man, Warriors. The cliff is there. Y'all falling off. Sorry. My number 3 team, and this is going to be a scary team this year. Kind of a sleeper team for me too. Was Sacramento Kings. 40 and 42 last year, but I got them 49 wins this year. I think this is where they kind of take that step forward. Malik Monk, Zach LaVine, DeMar DeRozan, these guys want to prove themselves. DeRozan, getting towards the end of his career, wants to definitely prove himself. And I love me some Domantas Sabonis. The double-double king right now, man. He is a phenomenal player. He is so consistent. I love watching Pops back in the day. Arvydas Sabonis, looking like a Russian English teacher playing basketball is kind of crazy. But Domantas Sabonis is a double-double monster. So I love him. They got some good rookies too. Dylan Caldwell from Auburn. Nick Clifford from Colorado State. So don't be surprised to watch the Sacramento Kings making some moves and maybe get into that flashback Sacramento Kings with Chris Webber, Peja Stojakovic, Mike Bibby, Vlade Divac, Doug Christie, them old school Sacramento Kings who almost won a championship, a little bit of drama back in the day. Check that out if you guys have not done your NBA history. There was some drama with the Kings there. But, man, I'd love to see Sacramento back in the mix. And they have a really good team. Again, 49 wins. I think I got them pegged for this year. They will be in the playoffs. So watch Sacramento in the West. They're one of those sleeper teams in the West. I think has a chance to make a little bit of noise. So I like them. This 1 and 2 was tough. Of course, you got the Lakers and Clippers. So this is going to be interesting to see. So I picked number 2. I got the Lakers. Oh, I have them at like 49, 50 wins. I think they're right there. the Luka Laker extension. Luka Doncic is, to me, still all-world top 5 player in the NBA right now. But the biggest concern I have is LeBron James' swan song. It's looking like LeBron James. I think this is going to be the year. And will that be a distraction for these Lakers? I mean, you're going to see all these farewell tours. You're going to see the gifts at the end of games or beginning of games. Whenever they do it, they're going to see, you're going to give LeBron rocking chairs and made out of quartz and all kinds of weird, retirement gifts. So, I mean, I wonder if this is really going to, excuse me, if this is really going to kind of be a distraction for the Lakers. My biggest question. Some of the other questions down there. They got DeAndre Ayton. Who are you going to see? Are you going to see that guy that's going to give you effort, give you some rim protection? Because you needed some length down low, and he gives it to you. But is he going to be able to show up? Is he going to kind of snap into it like Luka has? Now you got fit Luka. Fat Luka's gone. So now you got fit Luka. So are you going to get DeAndre Ayton, him walking in that building? Is all that lore going to kind of like snap into him? And now you're going to get this stud superstar. But that remains to be seen. Marcus Smart, my X factor on that team, man. You talk about grit, defense. Again, Celtics fans, where you at? I'm wondering how you feel about your boy now being on the enemy, now being on the Lakers. That'd be interesting. But I think he's going to really help. I think he's going to help not only the defense of that team, but I think he's going to help Luka's defense specifically, because that's one of the knocks against Luka Doncic, all-world scorer, but had that kind of Olay defense. So I'm thinking Marcus Smart with his tenacity is going to rub off a little bit on Luka. So we'll see if that happens. And then Dalton Connect's development. I know his name's been floating around here with trades and all kinds of things. He's had some really good games, but only averaged 9 points a game last year. He needs to double that. This is where you need to see the jump from Dalton Connect. Development. Stepping it up next year. Becoming that other guy that the Lakers need. Because Luka can't do it by himself. I mean, he did a lot dragging a Dallas Mavericks teams to the finals the last couple of years back when the Mavericks made it to the finals. But this West is hard. This team has a lot of expectations. JJ Redick is always going to be under the gun, being that he's never coached and just the expectations, weighing heavy. You got lights in Lakerland, Showtime, et cetera, et cetera. So this is going to be interesting to see. But I got the Lakers second. I got them 49, 50 wins, around that mark. But I do think the LeBron farewell tour is going to get old and is going to get heavy and it's going to be a distraction. So I think that's why I kind of have them a little bit lower in this. And then let's jump to the number one. I have my number one team in the Pacific Division is the geriatric kids. Yes, the Los Angeles Clippers. I'm going through this here, looking at the experience of the team. And, man, they got so many guys in double-digit experiences, years of experience on this team. It's amazing. You have Kawhi Leonard, the Claw, 13 years. James Harden, the Beard, 16 years experience. Bradley Beal, the Bust, 13 years experience. Chris Paul, who I love me some Chris Paul, the Old Soul, 20 years of experience. So Brooke Lopez, 17 years. You got Bogdanovich, and then you got Ben Simmons, which is an interesting X factor in that team. But to me, this is everybody's last chance. Literally, that whole team is like, dude, we may just all retire at the same time next year. I mean, the Clippers, by this time next year, you may see a whole new team because everybody is just retired. That's how old they all are. But Kawhi Leonard's one. Harden, Beal, Paul, nothing. Lopez, nothing. Can this team put it together and do kind of a magical run? And I really think they will. I can see a Indiana Pacers type run from this team because they all know this could be the last hurrah. Chris Paul, especially, who I love me some Chris Paul. James Harden. Of course, after seeing Oklahoma City win last year, seeing that Kevin Durant is now on that stacked Houston Rockets team. This is the Clippers' year. Skip to Malou coaching. I think this is it for them. And I think they get this magical run that they're looking for. I got them 50-51 wins this year. I think the Clippers finish first in this Pacific Division. I have them maybe third or fourth in the West total, but I think they're going to make some noise. I really can see something special happening in Los Angeles Clipper land, taking over the Lakers, and don't be surprised. I would not be surprised to see them in the NBA Finals this year. Just again, the magic, the jokes. Again, everybody's older and years in the league. They got to play games at 3:00 in the afternoon because they all go to bed at 7. You're going to hear all these kind of jokes. They all go to the early bird special. The age jokes are coming, but I have the Clippers number 1 in the Pacific Division. I see something special coming up. This is the all or nothing year for those Clippers, and you're going to see them give everything they got because they know a lot of them know this is their last chance. So that's what I got. Let me know what you guys think of this Pacific Division. Suns 5th, Warriors 4th, Kings 3rd, Lakers 2nd, Clippers 1st. What are your thoughts? Let me know. I'm excited to see. That's why I'm excited for this season. Excuse me. My drink's empty. All right, and then my last thing I want to jump into here, guys, as we are just kind of hanging around here in this off season, it gives me a lot of time to reflect. And reflection, thinking, just harking back here. I love nostalgia. I love going in my kind of little time machine here and going back and taking a look at some of my favorite moments in the NBA, my favorite teams. So, what I thought about here was my favorite team of all time. And I'm going to go through over the next, a bunch of podcasts here. I'm going to throw in here my some of my favorite all-time teams. And my number 1 favorite all-time team, I have to say, is the 1994. Well, nope, I got to remove that here. The 1994 New York Knicks. One of my favorite teams of all time. 1994, I graduated high school. So again, you guys do the math. But man, one of my favorite teams. And I know this year, the Knicks are bringing back those throwback jerseys. I'm excited about that too here. But, coached by Pat Riley, there were some great guys on that team, man, and some great personalities. Greg Anthony, Derek Harper, Doc Rivers. Yes, Doc Rivers of the Milwaukee Bucks and coach of the championship Boston Celtics. Yes, my man Doc Rivers is a point guard on the New York Knicks. Rolando Blackman, Herbert Davis. Yes, Herbert Davis. The now North Carolina head coach, Herbert Davis, was a shooting guard. Corey Gaines, John Starks. Man, I love me some John Starks. That John Starks dunk, woo! Some of the highlights. Again, you talk about the heart and soul. He reminds me a lot of Josh Hart. Josh Hart and John Starks games, something similar, but like the heart and soul of the team. Eric Anderson, Anthony Mason. For all you hip-hop heads out there, I know there was the lore that I Got a Story to Tell by Biggie Smalls was based on Anthony Mason. I think my man Fat Joe kind of corroborated that. So it's interesting that that tied into it a little bit. But man, I love me some Anthony Mason. Charles Oakley, man. God, I loved him. Man, you talk about grit and toughness. The guys today, especially the way fouls are called and the ticky-tack stuff, they would not be able to handle Charles Oakley and Anthony Mason. Those guys would destroy anybody in today's game. And they talk about, with LeBron James, I think LeBron James would get knocked down so many times. It would be hard for him to get up, man. But I love that here. Anthony Bonner, Tony Campbell, Charles Smith, Gerald Pado, but my man Herb Williams and Patrick Ewing. I love me some Patrick Ewing. I got him. I don't know if you see that up in the background there, my little frame piece there with his autograph in it. Man, Patrick Ewing, which breaks my heart because this team was up 3-2 in the finals against the Houston Rockets, but Akeem the Dream Olajuwon just led that team and came back and won and ended up winning the championship because, of course, Michael Jordan was playing baseball. But we're not going to bring that into it. But, man, one of my favorite teams of all time, this 1994 New York Knicks team. Love me some Patrick Ewing. Love me some John Starks, Charles Oakley, Anthony Mason. Love it. Derek Harper, Greg Anthony. Loved watching his game. Was a heck of a player. But that was one of my favorite teams, and that's my all-time favorite team, man. I can still remember watching that squad to this day. Still breaks my heart that we could not get Patrick Ewing a ring. But let me know your favorite teams, guys. Who's your top team in the NBA? Your favorite team all time? What year? What squad? Who you got? I'd be curious to know because I want to hear from you. I love hearing from my fans out there. I love hearing from the NBA fans because that's what it's all about, man. We're here for the NBA because we love it. Even in the off season, we still love it. So thank you guys very much for joining me. Again, drop a line if you have any questions, comments, concerns. Boom Broadcasting, the network you're watching right now. Like and subscribe us. Jump on. You will not be sorry. And then keep your eyes open in a couple of weeks. You're going to see me not only doing 3 from Deep, talking NBA basketball, but you're going to see me doing my fantasy football show, Sideline Savants. Guys, if you're also around later on tonight, I will be going live with my man Tim Collins over on Answer the Call on his YouTube channel. We're going to be talking about football. I'm going to be talking about the Giants, and we're going to be doing some predictions for our MVPs this year, who's going to be going to the Super Bowl. So you guys got to check him out. He's got a great show. And a great channel, too, on YouTube. But, man, even if anything, come stop by, see your boy NY live talking about the NFL tonight on Answer the Call. So we're going to be, I think it's 6 o'clock Eastern time. We're going to be live. So 6 o'clock Eastern, check me out. I'll try to throw out a link on my pages. So if you're on X, if you're on Instagram, if you're on Facebook, try to find me. But, guys, I appreciate it. I love that you're here with me. I love that the NBA still goes round and round, even in the off season. So I will see you guys next week. Let's see if anything huge happens this week in the NBA, and I will be here talking about it, guys. Thank you so much for joining me. Peace.